Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. In this video, I'm going to show how to access and edit your Jupyter Notebook on another platform. So previously, I showed you how to install Anaconda distribution, and once you've installed Anaconda distribution, you can then install Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so this is another method where we can actually access and run our Python codes on the web. So we're going to use Google Colab. Now Google Colab is a site. Okay, I'll just show you now. Okay, now if you go into Google Colab, I am actually logged in using my university account. So I would recommend you to log in using your university account as well, because then you would be able to access Google Colab using your university account, your Google university account, and save files. All right. So here is the recent files that I have opened on my Google Colab. So the files on Google Colab are in the format of Jupyter Notebook, right? Okay, let's just open. Oh no, wait. Let's look at the examples. Okay, I would highly recommend you to go through these examples. Just have a go through. Okay. But Google Colab is an option if your machine is not powerful enough to install Jupyter Notebook. Okay. And I have mentioned in the Telegram group that I recommend you to also create a GitHub account, because you can also load Jupyter Notebook files from GitHub repositories of any person on the web. Lastly, you can also upload files and run them on Google Colab. Okay, just gonna open. Let's see. Okay, this is actually a file from my GitHub account. Okay, this is actually an introduction to data science using Python. Okay, so if you look here, the extension of the file is .ipynb. So this is a Python notebook file. This is a Jupyter Notebook file. And this is how the files that I'm going to share with you will look like. Okay, so a Jupyter Notebook file will contain cells. So each of these are cells that are either text like these. These are text or code. So you can actually run this code on your Google Colab account. So warning, this notebook was not authored by Google, so it's being loaded from GitHub. It may request access to your data stored with Google, or read data and credentials from other sessions. So you need to be careful, but I trust this because this is from my GitHub account. So it's now working now. It's connecting. And you can see here that it is connected to Python 3 Google Compute Engine backend. And the RAM being used is 0.75 gigs out of the allocated 12.72 gig. And the disk is 30.02 gigabytes out of 107.77 gigabytes. So the advantage of using Google Colab is that if your machine does not have the necessary computing power, the RAM, the disk, the GPU or the CPU, then you can run this on Google Colab for free. Okay. Okay. Then this is just note. Okay. And if you want to run this cell, just click here. Run this cell. You can click it or you can press Control Enter. Alright. So the way that the cells are executed, you cannot just skip cells. For example, this cell has been run. You can see the number there, 1. So that's the first cell being run. And this is the second one. And this is the third one. Okay, so you can see that the difference of running codes on, for example, an IDE like Visual Studio is with Visual Studio, you only have lines of codes as well as comments, but you cannot have these notes. Okay, and the notes here can be quite you can put images. Okay, you can put links. So I really like using Jupyter Notebook to teach, because then you will just look at one file, and because we are doing online learning, okay, you can read the descriptions and the narrations. You can run the codes that I will give you, and at the same notebook you can see the output. So this is the output of the cell, of the running of the lines here in this cell. Okay, and I can also give you exercises or prompts. So on your own time, you can actually write codes and do your own learning. Okay, and I will also provide the solution here. Okay, so the answer is already there. So it is up to you. You can set the pace of how you're learning, and once I share the Jupyter Notebook with you, you can then add cells yourself. For example, I'll just add text here. So for example, this is the cell or Markdown cell, okay, of notes that I give you. Once you have downloaded this Jupyter Notebook on your own machine, and you run it on Google Colab, or even on your own machine in Jupyter Notebook on Anaconda Navigator, you can then edit it and put your own notes here. Okay, for example, you want to say, how does this work? Okay, us in class. Okay, and you can save this, and then during our synchronous time together, during class time, you can then share your screen or refer to the notebooks and ask me in class, or we can discuss the issues in class. Okay, right? So this is on Google Colab. Okay, the style or the format that we're going to go through for this course is using Python Notebook. You can run the Python Notebook either on Google Colab or on your own machines. So for those who have a spotty internet connection, you can install Jupyter Notebook on your own machine. You can run it without having to connect to the internet. For those who have great internet connection, and maybe your machine does not have a good specification, okay, you can use Google Colab. Right? Because from my experience is that for those who does not have a good internet connection, running codes on Google Colab is quite slow. It's not the fault of Google Colab. It's because your connection to the internet is slow. So these are the two options for you to run the Jupyter Notebook that I will share in class. All right. Thank you, everybody.